The INFJ psychic bond with romantic partners. Before we get started with this video, I want to say everything I'm about to say, it applies to INFJs and INFPs. Some of the stuff I do is just for INFJs, but some topics apply to both, and this is one of them. So it should really be the INFJ and the INFP psychic bond with partners. So what happens when an INFJ or an INFP falls in love with someone? We form an intense, intimate bond with that person. Falling in love for us is not a shallow thing. We're not in love with the idea of that person. We're not in love with the outer identity of that person and how they show up in the world. Although sometimes that can play into it. There might be elements of that. But INFJs and INFPs are so good at seeing right through the masks of what anyone is trying to present to the world, that we usually see the person's soul, the person's essence. We see the reality of that person. That's what we're really in love with. And I also want to say, I covered this in my last video about INFJs and INFPs with obsessive crushing. Everything I'm about to say too, it doesn't always mean that you are in an official relationship with the person. In fact, INFJs and INFPs are known to fall in love with people who they are not in official relationships with or never become in an official relationship with either. These types of relationships might be deep friendships, or they might appear that way on the outside. They might be soulmate connections, but a lot of times they do not turn into an actual official partnership as we see in traditional society. So that's something to consider too. INFJs and INFPs tend to be very unconventional people, and sometimes the container of the traditional relationship, it really doesn't work for us. However, everything I'm saying can also apply if you are in a traditional relationship with someone. So it can apply to all areas when we say relationship, whatever we mean by that. The important thing is that you feel deep, intense, romantic feelings for the other person. So when that happens for an INFJ or an INFP, we start to pick up on the other person's stuff. At first, this is normal because we do this with everyone. We do this with family members, we do this with friends, we do this with coworkers, we do this with people that we sit next to in yoga class. We cannot help it. We are sponges. We are empathic sponges. So we pick up on everyone else's stuff. However, when we formed this intimate bond with another person, we then start to feel the other person's stuff, not just pick up on it, not just, oh, I think they're in a bad mood today, but, oh, I'm feeling their bad mood. Now again, for a lot of INFJs and INFPs, this is run-of-the-mill stuff. We are empaths, so again, we might pick that up from someone just sitting next to us in yoga class. However, it becomes much deeper and much more intense with the person that we have formed that intimate romantic bond with. Then sometimes we will notice that it almost seems as if we've formed a telepathic connection with the person. And this is where things start to feel weird for the INFJ or INFP, or I should say even for us INFJs and INFPs who experience so many weird emotional bonds and connections with people throughout our lives. When we get that actual telepathic connection with someone we have romantic feelings for, that can feel very weird. It can even weird us out. We might feel like we are getting their feelings, their thoughts, their desires, their pain, kind of in this whole package sometimes. It's like we're getting these downloads, sometimes when we're near them and we're talking to them, sometimes when we're on the phone with them, and sometimes when we're not talking to them at all and we're not near them at all. They might be 1,000 miles away, we're still getting these downloads. Many INFJs and INFPs have reported to me that after falling in love with someone, they sometimes get the other person's thoughts in their head. Most of the time, they don't say this, in a very casual way, like, yeah, I'm getting the person's thoughts in my head. They're usually really freaked out about it. Like, I'm getting these weird thoughts. They feel like they're connected or belong to this person that I'm really crushing on or that I'm in a relationship with. And it just seems really weird. How am I getting their thoughts in my head? It's that telepathic connection. The next thing that happens is we will seem to know exactly what the person is feeling. Not just the abstract, oh, they're in a bad mood or they're in a painful place right now, but we are getting their emotions accompanied with the thoughts, exactly as if we were them. Like we have this phone line hooked up to them mentally, psychically, and we're just getting all of their stuff. Sometimes we'll even know where they are, what they're doing, and what they're going to do next. And that can feel really weird. And if we're in contact with the person who we have romantic feelings for and we share this, oh, I just knew you were at the store and I knew you were going there to pick out this and this and this, that can really weird them out as well. We also will get intuitive information on deeply buried parts of the person's psyche or their past. This is where things can get tricky because a lot of painful stuff can come up. And INFJs and INFPs, we're born healers. We want to help heal. We want to help. And a lot of this stuff might feel like delicate information, sensitive information. We're not even sure if we should have access to this information, but it's surfacing in our consciousness. It might come in the form of we're getting the other person's memories. We are just getting a knowing about things that have happened to that person, a knowing about the way they see the world that's deeply connected to things that have happened in their past. And again, a lot of times we're not really sure if we're allowed to be in this territory. And that can feel, again, very dicey. It can feel very uncertain and we can feel very uncomfortable there. So what happens when all of this starts happening with someone that we are crushing on or that we've started to form a relationship with, or we know that the feelings are mutual but nothing's happened, maybe nothing ever will happen in the concrete realm, but we really know that we have a soul connection with them. We start to feel a lot of the time like we're going crazy because we will feel like we're so close with the other person that we're saturated with their stuff. We're getting their thoughts, we're getting their feelings, we're getting parts of their past, their memories, their pain. We're getting all of this and we're getting it 24/7. We might be vividly dreaming about the person night after night. We might be going about our day and we're getting flashes or images of what they're doing or what they want to do. This causes us to ricochet between all sorts of extreme emotions. On one hand, there's euphoria. INFJs and INFPs love to be close to people. We love intimate connection with those who we care about and feel safe with. So if this is someone we are deeply in love with and we do feel safe with them, there will be this euphoria that we are so close to them. There will also be a frustration because a lot of times the person has wounds or is working to heal those wounds, and we are getting in there and sort of feeling frustrated that they're not moving fast enough or they're not seeing this piece that we can so clearly see, and we wish they would put the pieces together. They're not growing and evolving in the way we think they should. We can get really attached to their outcome because we're so intimately connected with them. We're getting all of this stuff from them, and we can see the healing work that needs to be done. So we can also be experiencing frustration. The third thing we might be experiencing is exhaustion because we're running their energy through our system 24/7. The vivid dreams, so we're doing it at night, during the day, so we're doing it while we're awake. It makes for a case of exhaustion because we are always focusing on them, what's going on with them, what are they feeling right now, are they healing that part of them, fitting the puzzle pieces together about them. It can make us feel obsessed and exhausted. So we tend to ricochet between euphoria, frustration, and exhaustion. Now, a lot of INFJs and INFPs assume that all of this is just going on in their heads, especially those of us who are disconnected from our intuition or are very suspicious, skeptical of the woo-woo side of life, which is pretty common in our society. So that type of INFJ or INFP might feel like I'm making all of this up in my head. It makes me feel close to the person. I feel like that's kind of pathetic of me, but that's what it is. It's all in my head and I'm the one creating this and it's not really real. The thing is, it is really real. This is actually happening. You're not making it up. It's called a psychic bond, and it happens when an INFJ or an INFP falls in love with someone. It happens every time. If you are an INFJ or an INFP and you fall in love with someone, you are going to create a psychic bond with them. There is no way around it. That is just how you roll. That's how you do things. It is our natural empathic ability, right? It's the thing we are doing all the time with friends and coworkers and the person sitting next to you in yoga class. We're doing that all the time anyway, but it's that kicked up a few notches, in fact, a whole lot of notches. So it's really, really intense. This is because we are natural healers. And when we fall in love with someone, the first thing we do, and we do it out of love, I just want to emphasize that, we do this out of love because we love the person so much. We look for ways we can help them and that we can be of service to them through our healing abilities. We also tend to be attracted to people with wounds. I will say that as well. So there's a lot of opportunity for healing there as well. Because of these factors, our energy fields, our energy fields are always porous. I'll say that. Again, even if you're just in yoga class, our energy fields are always porous. But when we're around someone we love, we are in love with them, they have wounds, we're really attracted to them, it's all very intense. That's when we open up our energy field even more. We want them to come into ours and we want to go into theirs. We are really trying to merge with that person because we want to help them heal, we want to be close to them, we want to know more about them. This is how INFJs and INFPs love people. It can be very, very intense. It can feel very compelling, but this can also cause a lot of problems, as you might imagine. Codependency being one of them, losing yourself in the other person, not being able to separate what their feelings are and what your feelings are, becoming extremely attached to their outcome or their reaction. All of these things can drain you and exhaust you. I'm going to be talking about these problems as well as a whole host of other problems that INFJs and INFPs go through when they fall in love, and how to deal with them when it happens. I don't want to say conquer them or get past them, because I really believe that this is not something that INFJs or INFPs are doing wrong. And you are not doing anything wrong if this has happened to you or you feel this way. This is actually a very natural part of our falling in love cycle. However, it can be managed in a way where it doesn't feel so uncomfortable and you don't feel so powerless and so confused, and it doesn't have to be such a painful place. So that's what I'm going to be teaching in my weekend class coming up, INFJs and INFPs in Love. It's going to be on Saturday, March 18th. It's a 2-hour seminar. It is a live class, however, I'm going to record it. So anyone who registers for the class, you can attend live or you can get the recording. You will have lifetime access to that recording. And that is exactly what it means, lifetime access. So you can access it in 10 years if you need to. If you're interested in this class or receiving any other videos on these kinds of topics, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and please subscribe to my newsletter. I send out tons of information all the time through my newsletter. Stuff for INFJs, INFPs, writers, highly sensitive people, highly creative people, highly intuitive people who are also creative. I got it all going on there. So please sign up for my newsletter list. And hopefully I will see you March 18th for INFJs and INFPs in Love. My classes are a lot of fun. If you are an INFJ or an INFP who feels like I'm the only person this has ever happened to, I don't even know any other INFJs or INFPs, sign up for one of my classes. It's a really good time and you will meet other people. Okay, hopefully I will see all of you there, and thanks so much everyone for listening today.